Welcome into the Boardroom Podcast. I'm Ward 6 Alderman Ben Piper.
I'm Ward 4 Alderman Chad Wicker.
Chad, it is September the 20th.
19th. 20th?
I jumped one day ahead. I'm on Australia time, I guess. September 19th. Homecoming day.
Yeah,
for
homecoming
Hernando
football game against Center Hill.
High School.
7:30 kickoff.
It's 7 or 7. I think it's 7. If you're listening to this, it is most likely late in the day on Friday. And we are going to break down the very talked about Hernando Board of Aldermen meeting from September 16th. But before we do that, a couple quick notes.
Sure.
Got the Water Tower Festival coming up.
27th?
September 27th, always a great time for the community to get together around the square. Square will be shut down that day. There will be people everywhere. Vendors, stuff for the kids to do. Always a great time. That morning, the morning of the 27th, I think there's also the Healing Hearts 5K is going on in South Haven. I know that
that's right.
This is a Hernando podcast, but Healing Hearts, great organization if you want to support them. They also have Catfish and Khakis that night up there at the Snowden House. It should be a great event as well. I hate to throw out their event, not like every single other event, but that's a really good one that's coming up. The Water Tower 10K and Half Marathon is also coming up on October 11th.
Yes.
Chad is running the Half Marathon. I am running the 10K.
You sure? Have you checked your
for
sign-ups?
for the second year in a row.
Have you checked what race you signed up for?
Yeah, I checked it. I can't do 13.1. I can barely do 3, much less 6, but I'm going to find a way to get this body across the finish line for 6.2 miles. But very challenging race, really good time. You can also still sign up to be a Spirit runner, I believe, for a little bit longer. For $30, you get a T-shirt and access to the after party and get your name entered in all the raffles. Great cause, Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which provides books for children that are born and live in Hernando from birth to age 5 years old. Really cool initiative. My kids were signed up for it. Got all kind of great books. First one that you get's The Little Engine That Could. Great book.
Yeah.
And we also have Brewfest that's coming up. The Hernando Rotary Brewfest is coming up, I believe, October the 17th.
Yeah, that's right.
That Friday evening, they have 8 local breweries, Mississippi breweries that'll be showing up. I know there's one from the Delta called Red Panther. There's one from Oxford called Circle Square. Should be a great time. That money raises money for fresh well water initiatives in Honduras, which is a great great charity to give to.
They'll have live music, and it's in the little the courtyard there behind Panola Street.
Which,
awesome.
by the way, Hernando Homecoming Parade last night, fantastic, awesome.
Yeah, it was
pretty
a good time.
Pretty good turnout by folks. It was hot, but the people still turned out. And you may have seen Panola Street is now lit up with the string lights.
Yes.
That was from an ARPA project that the Chamber of Commerce took on. Appreciate Siboney and her leadership there, and also Jody Woody and some of the other ambassadors for that organization making that happen. But it looks really good. But all right, well, that's what's going on around Hernando for the next about month or so, because it's going to be a minute before we get to do another one of these shows. You got fall break coming up with the kids from school.
We'll
and
both be out of town, I believe.
There'll be a little gap there between our shows. So after this show, we may not have another one until late October. So we want to make sure we give all these organizations a little shout out with everything they have going on. If you have any other events that you have going on in and around Hernando you'd like us to point out to folks, please send them along our way at the Boardroom Podcast on Facebook. All right, so September 16th. Let's just cut right to it. The one thing that I think everybody talked about the most was there was a discussion added on Monday, the day before the meeting. Discussion added on a possible renaming of a city street to Charlie Kirk Boulevard. This was something that was introduced on social media initially by Alderman Kit Kitchens on late Friday, as something he would like to do. And the mayor added it to the agenda on Monday and said, okay, there seems to be some people that really want to discuss this. Let's put it on the agenda. Had a lot of people show up for it. The room was pretty full, and people spoke on both sides of it. I think that there were some people that, obviously it's a very emotional time, I think, for a lot of people. What happened to Charlie Kirk was tragic and senseless and heinous and cowardly and terrible, and it's nothing that anyone should celebrate. It's nothing that anyone should ever hope to want to see again in our country. And I think that there were people on definitely on the side of opposition to this that probably took some liberties with the truth and probably stretched the truth a little bit with some of the things they said about him. At the same time, they have a right to have their voice being heard at our meeting. The mayor opened it up to that.
Sure.
To allow them to speak. I think both of us, I'll let Chad speak for himself, but I think both of us wanted to, table this because there was so much kind of a rush to discuss this and decide what we wanted to do, if the city should do something, and what it would look like, all that. And, the initial motion to rename Green Tea to Charlie Kirk Boulevard did, ultimately fail. We tried to table it for a later date. That also failed. It was Alderman Miller motion to deny it. That failed. So it ultimately, we moved on to the next thing after that. But I will say this, I've gotten, numerous calls, texts, emails about this issue on both sides of it, supporting and against it. And it just, I think it's just there's a lot of raw emotions right now because of what happened. But I'll let you talk on it as well, Chad.
Well, I mean, I think you covered the gist of it, but I think Charlie Kirk, just like any person in American politics right now, it's our politics is so divisive that there's people that agree with some of the stuff he said and some people who strongly disagree. And so I thought we had a fairly good meeting, that people were able to say their side. No one got mad. No fight broke out.
Yep.
Things like that. But I think it's important to kind of give a timeline, I think, Ben, of kind of what this transpired. Obviously, Mr. Kirk was murdered on last Wednesday, I think the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up Saturday morning. I don't know if you did as well, with comments and text that a Facebook post by one of our other aldermen proposing to do this, and that's the first I heard of it. I think you're the same way. There's a lot of factors that go into renaming a street, and especially naming it after a political figure like that in such a divisive time in our country. I think that's one of the reasons why the location of the street had changed multiple times. I think the original plan, Ben, was maybe somewhere downtown, and then I think, from what I understand, he decided to move something out by the school, and then at the meeting we learned that he had changed his mind to Green Tea Road. And so there's a lot of things there. You got to people that live on those roads. If you actually truly change the name of the road, you have to, they have to go change their driver's license, things like that. Businesses have to change their documents. And I'm not opposed to doing something to honor the guy. And I think there was just no rush to do this, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. There was absolutely no rush to do this, and unfortunately, I think it was done. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know. To score political points. I hope that's not the case. I hope it was not political. I hope it was truly to honor Charlie Kirk. And
I agree with you. I think it's probably that's something that I've heard as well. And I think the other podcast, Under the Water Tower podcast, made the same kind of assertion. And what I would say is, we can't judge people's hearts. We don't know people's motives, right? And we should stop. We should stop short of doing that. Yeah. From everything I know, I have not. Alderman Kitchens and I have known each other for a little over a year, and I would not rush to judgment on that. And I think I think he is excited to be serving the city of Hernando and its people, and he wants to do the best job he can. And that's the two things I would say about him. And he wants he wants to do a good job just like any of the rest of us do. And he, we may have different viewpoints from time to time, but I think he wants to try to.
Sure.
He's ready. He's ready to get to work. He got in there. He's ready to work and make something happen. And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. Well, and I just truly hope that the true intention of this was to do something to really honor and maybe help. As I've been telling people, we need to be pulling people together, not pushing people apart. And I think to rush into this without really taking the time to do the necessary assessment, and maybe there's another street that makes sense if we're going to do that. But when you only have 3 or 4 days to make a decision, and then when you do make a decision, you're ridiculed on social media. I don't think that's the best way to really accomplish what he was trying to do.
Yeah, there's also there's kind of like the people have told me this before, like the 48-hour rule. 48 hours after we make a decision, they might be really upset about it, and then maybe that things start to cool off a little bit, and that works with political figures, wives, children, all the stuff, right? Sometimes you're upset for a couple days, and then people eventually calm down, and you're able to talk and reason with each other. So that's the other thing I would say is that if you disagreed with someone on whether it's this matter or taxes or who the president is or whatever the deal is, give it 48 hours sometimes, and then go back and talk to folks when they settle down a little bit. And that's always that's always kind of one of those good policy things. But
well, the motion to name the road failed. The motion to deny to name a road failed. Mm-hmm. The motion to table it failed, which essentially is basically tabling it because we can always bring it back up later. So it's still out there. But from what I understand, you told me just before we started recording that maybe there's a billboard or something's going to get something put up to honor him.
There was an effort to raise donations to have a billboard honoring him. I think it'll start on Monday, the 22nd. It'll run for a month. I think there's about $4,000 raised pretty quickly in about 5 hours to do something memorializing him on the billboard that's there at the Lander Center. So that will speak volumes. I think a lot of people will see that, and it will be a good thing for those who are grieving him and need that outward show of support.
Sure.
All right. I think it's been talked about enough, and so we'll move on. If y'all have any other comments or thoughts on it, y'all can certainly leave comments on the Boardroom Podcast Facebook page. We also had, Civil Link did a presentation for the fiscal year 25-26 paving list, and we advertised for bids there.
Yes.
So this is something that's new. The city entered into a general services contract with Civil Link to produce this kind of list of what roads need to be paved around the city based on a study that they did in August of 2024. And they came back with us and said, we want to do kind of a mixture of, there's some neighborhood roads, not many, but there's some neighborhood roads that are included, but they're mostly larger, what they call arteries, like Mackinville, Mount Pleasant, Robinson, West Oak Grove Road. McCracken was another one that was on there. Roads that get quite a bit of traffic back and forth for people that are going to neighborhoods, that are going to businesses, whatever else. And we need to, get some overlay work done on some of these major roads. And then there's some neighborhood streets here and there that need to be taken care of. It's an amount of about $2.25 million that will come from the Mississippi Modernization Act Fund, which is internet sales tax. Will cover the cost of this, and it's something that's in the budget. Yeah. I think it's a real interesting approach to it because I think when was the last time some of these roads were probably paved? McCracken, I think it's in pretty bad shape. It's been a while for sure. Mount Pleasant, some of these other ones as well.
And Nick from Civil Link, he mentioned, I believe they do a what was it called? Cost estimate benefit or cost benefit analysis. Basically, what you get your most bang for your buck. That's kind of what they did here. So we're going to get some roads paved, some that's needed for a while. So I think there's about $3 million worth of paving and road improvements on this agenda.
And based on
what, talk about another one here in a minute, but
and based on what that Civil Link study said from 2024, the city had about close to $22 million worth of paving and road work that needed to be done. to basically, like what I like to say, to make it look like Talladega, where it's just like smooth and
Everything's flat.
yeah, everything's good to go, right? So that included the $2.5 to $3 million McInville project that was done last year. There's other paving that we did on top of that. I mean, all in, there was way more than, I think, $4 to $5 million last year spent in paving.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Well, two point something was the McInville Road that we kind of had some grant to help pay for some of it. So
correct.
but that was part of that money there. So.
Yeah. So that being said, if we continue to click along at the trend that we are in that $2 million to $2.5 million a year, we're going to get there in less than 10 years to hopefully have much better streets. So whether that's that'll be this board, and then whoever is elected in the future or whatever else, that's going to be up to them to make sure we continue on that trend to make that happen. To Chad's point, the Lehman Roberts was awarded a bid of $836,000 for asphalt paving. These were mostly all neighborhood streets across the city. I think that I can really only speak to the ones in my ward, Reedy and Keeneland and Danis Cove. Those three streets all connect to each other. To get overlaid. They were rated in that 2 to 4 range.
Yeah, I think we shared that list online. We can share it again. It's I think it's about 15 streets are going to get some form of improvement. It's
definitely those that are needed. I think that we did in talking about all this paving stuff. There was that was something that Alderman Kitchens brought up, was like, at what point are we going to get to all these neighborhood streets? We're basically going to be waiting a year to do anything. Based on this plan. And their comment was kind of like it might be 2, 3, 4 years potentially before we get to it, after dealing with some of these main streets that people ride on every day.
Well, that's one of the things that's so important about our budget is, at the end of the day, it just comes down to what we can afford to do. And I think we're doing the most what we have, and obviously I think we wish we had more, but it's just kind of a balancing act of what the resources you have and putting it out there and making the best decision. So.
Yeah, and I think somebody told me this whenever I first started getting into all this. They said, what road's the most important road in Hernando? And I was like, I guess Commerce, or no, that's not it. McInville, no, that's not it. I guess that little stretch of road right in front of somebody's house, because they ride on it every single day, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. And if you've got a pothole on the road that you live on, you know it real well, and you dodge it every day, and it makes you upset. And there's times when you look down at the radio and then you hit the pothole, you know it's there, and it spills your coffee, and you get upset. And how come the city's not fixing it?
Well, I think you probably agree with this too. I wish we've done more, but I think we have put a pretty good dent into some of those issues. We've spent a lot of our resources and our money over the last 4 or 5 years in paving. So, and we're going to continue to do that because I think it's important to have a good infrastructure.
Absolutely, we got to keep on keeping on and keep those funds going where they need to go. We terminated the emergency declaration from the May tornado. All that really did is, the cleanup effort has basically concluded. The burn pit is closed with the county, and that is moving on there. The approval of the salary increases to begin on October 5th, 2025. That was, I think the mayor mentioned he just dropped the ball on that, and basically needed to include that in the budget motion that was made earlier in September. But with October 1st falling in the middle of a pay cycle, they wanted to move that back to October 5th instead. So that was kind of the explanation there as to when salary increases would actually take place. For the vast 99% majority of city employees, that amounts to 3%. The Board of Aldermen are not taking a raise, and I think there was one.
There's some jokes there, but I'm looking at my better angels. Isn't that the thing to say nowadays?
Sure. There was one employee that I think got a little extra on the janitorial side, which great work by those folks. But outside of that, I did want to ask you about this. We had some final plat approvals. Those are basically formalities there. Those are items that have already been approved, and they're basically saying, hey, we're moving forward. It's time to start construction, more or less.
It was built to the standard that we originally approved the first time when we did the preliminary plat.
Correct. The inmate and detainee housing agreement with the DeSoto County Jail. I wanted to get your take on this. So it's something that to help people understand this. So you got the DeSoto County Jail. The city of Hernando pays the county for everybody that Hernando picks up and goes to their jail. Is that
yeah? So most counties in Mississippi are the same in that the county sheriff runs the jail, the county jail. Then all the municipalities who have a police department have to have someone to take somewhere and to take their prisoners. Now there's a few municipalities that have their own jail, but the vast majority of them contract with the county sheriff, and so they agree on a price. And why this is being changed, and we've had agreements with them in the past, is there's been a push by sheriffs to increase the amount they charge the municipalities. And so when I first started doing this, it was $20 a day, then it was $25 a day, then $30, $35 a day, and so that's what we're currently paying. However, there was a recent Attorney General's opinion that happened, I think, in first of this year, around February, March, that said, no, the most you can charge a municipality is $25 a day for the first 30 days, and then 32, whatever's in that contract, I think $32.71 or whatever, for the remaining days. And so, just a lot of the contracts throughout the state had to be redone, and so that's essentially what we're doing. So our cost per inmate is going to go down because the Attorney General is interpreting some legislation about the cost for a state inmate, and that's what they based the max that you can charge somebody. And to be fair to the counties, I work at a county.
I kind of put you on the spot there, but I also knew that you were the one that knew the answer.
That number should rise. $32 is very low. Like, for instance, I don't know what it is in DeSoto County anymore, but when I was there, it was around $50, $55. I can't remember exactly what it was to house a prisoner per day. Just when you take all the salaries and all the stuff you have to do, the food cost, all the electricity, so the county's losing money on it.
Okay.
And as you get smaller counties, that number per inmate goes up because they can't pool. If you got to have the same type of equipment to feed 100 people as you do to feed 500 people, right? It's the same size kitchen, just about. So, so the cost goes down with more people typically per inmate, and so. But I think the legislator's going to look at that and probably raise that up, and that's why there were some clauses in that contract where if they do raise it, I think it goes up to 40 for the next year after they raise, and keeps going up. So. People are probably really bored about that. So
no, it's one of those things that, like, when you see it, it's sort of like, what exactly is this? There were some questions around it, and so I appreciate you explaining it out. One of the last things we discussed on Tuesday was amending the noise ordinance to try to approve and publish a public hearing. That was there was some discussion around that. What companies being asked to wait to start construction until 7 a.m. That was one of the things that the ordinance committee had discussed and brought to the board of aldermen. I think there was, I don't know that is the right way to necessarily go. I think there was definitely some pushback from other members of the board. Maybe let's try to find some better wording for this, or maybe we can look at some different options for what we could do. There's seasonality. 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. in the summertime is different.
Yeah, you
from 6
mentioned
a.m. in the
that.
wintertime.
It's just another good problem we have where we have construction going on in some of our developed areas, and so I think the catalyst of this was the property being built at Robinson and 51 there. It's going to be, which is pretty much built now. And then I think they were pouring the concrete for the soccer practice facility there on Holly Springs. And I think they had to do those at certain times because of the weather and stuff, and so and I think that irritated some residents. Which, if you're pouring concrete at 3 o'clock in the morning and truck after truck's coming in and dropping concrete, I could see how you get frustrated with that.
Sure.
But you're an early riser, so that's no problem for you. You're probably up running that time of day anyway.
I do like to get up early. I go to sleep early and try to get up early. So if you send me a text message or try to call me after like 9, I'm probably asleep.
Yeah.
Or I have the phone on Do Not Disturb and I'm watching,
Football game or something.
yeah, watching a football game or something like that. Or I'm like rewatching a TV show I've seen 5 times so I can go to sleep. But yeah, I think that additionally, I think Alderman Miller had some really good points that there's probably some language in there as well that like when the construction is an infill, he mentioned the word infill. So when he's talking about that, it's something where there's already been development all around the other rest of the property and something new is being put there. In the case of Robinson at 51, there was a home there, it got torn down, and now something else is being built there. It's an infill project compared to new construction at a place like Delta Landing where it's new construction, there's not as much around it. The stuff that is around it is further away, so there's probably not really a noise proximity issue. So that is another good thing to take back. But the ordinance committee is going to be looking at that, and looking at some different language to enhance that and try to help folks out. Some.
Sure. Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Well, Chad, that was our meeting on Tuesday. Much discussed, but certainly, we're continuing to move things forward. There's a lot going on in Hernando right now. It's getting to that really good time of year when things start to cool off a little bit.
Absolutely.
The weather gets nice. The football games are fun. Homecoming, Water Tower Festival, all the things that we mentioned earlier. Brewfest coming up for the Rotary Club. A lot of good events coming up, and then. The 10K and half marathon as well. So a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, and fall break's coming up, so taking my son to Baltimore. We're going to a Baltimore Ravens game there.
Oh man, okay.
I think you're going south.
We're going.
Right?
Yeah, we're going to go down to the beach and for a little bit and just try to unplug. And I really try to during those things I don't I tell work I'm like my phone is off basically and. Really try to unplug, let the kids not look at screens and devices as much as possible, just enjoy being outdoors, as a family. And we like play board games and get all competitive and all this stuff. So it should be a great time. I'm definitely looking forward to that, looking forward to, having some relaxation time. But yeah, so y'all, fall's almost here. It's so close. You can almost feel it. You can't feel it yet because it's still going to be 92 degrees today, but we're getting closer and closer to it.
We are. It's getting time. So,
if we don't have anything else, Chad, I'll tell you what. I think we're going to put a bow on it and call it a.
Yeah, we got a football game to play. I mean, a golf tournament to play in.
We got that too, Wesley Meadows. So we'll be out there soon. Y'all enjoy homecoming. Enjoy your weekend. God bless you. We appreciate y'all listening. That is the Boardroom Podcast. I'm Ben Piper.
I'm Chad Wicker. Thanks for listening.